and I'm staring at the stars, not knowing where you are. I think maybe tomorrow but I know where to go. I get a funny feeling as I stare at the ceiling. I'm losing you. Yeah, I'm losing you. And I get angry that I can't really be me. And I'm so lost. I wonder what it's all caused. I get a funny feeling as I stare at the ceiling. I'm losing you. I get a funny feeling when I look at the ceiling. Maybe tomorrow, but I know how that goes. I'm losing you. Yeah, I'm losing you. I'm losing you.
Namaste, salutations, and greetings. It's Thursday night. It's what time? 9 o'clock. So that would make it what?
It's time.
Thursday Night Vibes with Master Rochi and Kate Land. Kate Land.
Why are you saying my name like that? Excuse you? What?
Kind of the proper pronunciation.
It's Caitlin.
Kate Land.
Caitlin.
Kate Land.
Caitlin. There's not a space. It's one word.
Kate
David
Land.
said salutations.
Caitlin.
Pardon me?
David said salutations.
Hey, David! Greetings, and yeah, you're going to see a lot more of David here very shortly. How is Kate Land doing tonight?
I'm good.
I'm groovy.
Golden. I'm
golden. We mark this date in history that Caitlin responded to this question with more than I'm good.
Hey, I used to say I was peachy.
No.
Now I'm golden.
You're golden. Well,
golden.
I'm digging this. I'm digging this. So we're on a roll here. You are just showing such promise tonight. So why don't you tell everybody about who sponsors the show?
No.
What?
What? Who does sponsor the show?
Well, that's what I'm asking you, and you should probably, start taking a little bigger part in the show and maybe announcing the sponsor and telling them a little bit about, our sponsor's products?
Maybe one of these days.
Oh, all right. Well, all right.
Today's not the day. We'll try again next week.
It's hard to get good help. Yes.
Doyle said good evening, and he loves the backdrop.
Namaste, Doyle. Great having you. Got some new backdrops. Yep. This is one of the 3 new ones that we're rolling out. So we're going to be able to switch things up. But thank you for noticing. Really appreciate it. Show is sponsored by Master Rochi's Garden. Check out masterrochesgarden.com. And I'll tell you what, this is something that we have on the website. These Amura vaporizers. Now these are absolutely wonderful, and I'll tell you why. Because they are very discreet. They do not burn. There is no odor. There is no smoke. And they come with some different preloaded CBD, and chamomile is one of my absolute favorites. But they have some other preloaded ones, or you can get your own tubes. And you can put your own flour in it, whatever type of flour you're, wishing to use, or herbal mixes. And by the way, the Master Rochi's rolling tray really makes packing these wonderful.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I know it's not geared toward tobacco users, but could you put tobacco in that to have tobacco vapor rather than
You could.
smoke?
You could. Yeah. But these tubes, you pack them, and you just take them and you stick them in this hole here. And it will gently vibrate and light up. And that means it's preheating. During the preheating, you want to take a couple of drags off of it. And this helps remove water vapor as it's heating up. The next thing you're going to feel is another vibration, and that tells you the unit's ready to go. And once the unit's ready to go, you have 3 minutes of vaporizing time. So you can just pack this right in. There it goes. It buzzed again. So I've got 3 minutes. To enjoy my flower. So you could pre-pack your tubes, take them out with you for the evening or whatever you're doing. And, again, no odor, no smoke. So check these out on our website, Amura. We've got some wonderful details there. And on masterrochesgarden.com.
Looks like a quality product.
It is. It is a wonderful product. They have several different colors, but the black ones that are out now are really, really cool.
It looks nifty. So since there's no smoke or no vapor, if you were to put tobacco in that, I know you consume tobacco, you
Yes.
could use it.
Trying to get away from tobacco.
I know, but you could use it discreetly, not encouraging this, but discreetly in a place where you couldn't smoke a cigarette or something per se.
Yeah. You could take this, to places, that festivals, outdoor facilities, or other places that you just want to be discreet about it. Maybe family gatherings, but just a really, really cool and convenient product. It doesn't really stand out, so
I'd like to try it with like an herbal blend.
yeah.
Be
Well, I'll
nice.
get you something other than the chamomile.
Yeah, please.
And
Please.
and see what you think. Well, that's who's sponsoring the show tonight.
Now, could you write that down for me so I have it for future reference?
No, I'm not going to write anything down for you. I think you should exercise that gray matter.
I did.
Well, you know what? You have something you actually want to talk about tonight, right?
I do. I want to talk about Parkinson's disease tonight.
Okay, well, that's good because May is Mental Health Month. And Parkinson's is a mental disease?
Did you know every year around 60,000 Americans are diagnosed with Parkinson's disease?
I did not know that.
And that there's over 10 million people worldwide living with Parkinson's disease presently?
I didn't realize the numbers were that high.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, Parkinson's disease is a neurological disorder that affects the neurons in the brain. It actually causes where your neurons make connections, it causes the connections to be severed and it causes them to die. The early precursors of Parkinson's are such as like tremors on one side of the body, weakness on one side of the body, and eventually it does spread to both sides of the body, but usually the first side that's affected is the side that's more affected.
Right. Now, how can they tell? Because that sounds like a lot of symptoms of a stroke.
Yeah. So with Parkinson's and strokes, there's different symptoms. Like with the Parkinson's, you won't see the drooping of the face. A big way that us in the nursing profession tell if people have strokes, we tell them to put their arms out. And with Parkinson's, you would still be able to put your arms out like this. With a stroke, one arm, you wouldn't be able to lift nearly as high.
All right. Very good. Very good.
But yeah, it causes tremors. Later side effects of Parkinson's are depression. It's just, and like 70% of Parkinson's people diagnosed with Parkinson's do eventually develop dementia as well.
All right. Well, what are some of the therapies that are going on with Parkinson's and the current research? Anything interesting?
Presently, Parkinson's is managed with a drug called Cinnamon and just physical therapy. But I've actually been doing some research on this product. You can make it yourself, which you got to know what you're doing if you're going to make it yourself. Or in the legal states, you can find it in dispensaries. It's called RSO. That stands for Rick Simpson oil. And it is a highly concentrated THC tincture, essentially.
Right on. Right on.
And the way that it helps treat Parkinson's is THC has these things called antagonists in it. And the agonists are a chemical that go and bind to the neuron, and it allows the chemical to flow through. So, part of what Parkinson's does is while those neurons are dying, the first ones that it affects are the neurons that receive the dopamine chemical.
Right.
So when you ingest the RSO, it allows the dopamine oil to flow through more easily and get to where it needs to go to assist in stopping tremors and rigid body movements. It also helps with any pain associated with Parkinson's, because that's another thing. Parkinson's causes rigid body movements and pain due to the neurons not being able to do what they need to do. And it also causes speech issues.
All right. Well, I'm sure that there's a lot of physicians out there that are, prescribing RSO for Parkinson's, aren't there?
No, unfortunately not, because there's not enough research to support RSO being used, because not a lot of people are doing, the correct research. They're working on it.
Interesting.
There's some research studies that have been done. That's where I've gathered a lot of my information, but there's just not enough research that has been presented for the medical community to fully get behind it and support it.
Now, is that the medical community or the pharmacy companies?
The medical community.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
the pharmacy companies, all the research that I read from the pharmacy companies say you shouldn't use it at all, that it's too dangerous to use RSO. But
until they can isolate and create a drug that mimics RSO.
Yes. But the medical side of things says, yes, you can try it as a therapy, but they're not going to be advertising it because there's no money going into their pocket if they're advertising it.
Right.
But they do say it, as long as you consult your physician, it's safe to use RSO if you have Parkinson's disorder.
Well, I've seen quite a bit of empirical data and some other, smaller studies that are showing that RSO has a quite major effect
Yeah.
on Parkinson's patients. And there was one video, I believe, that was circulating on YouTube that was pretty amazing to see almost instantaneous results.
Yeah, the video that I watched was actually a Parkinson's patient that was having really bad dyskinesia, which is where you can't really control your body movements. And his dyskinesia was so severe that he could barely move his hands, and his knees were also contracted up to his chest.
Right.
And then he took the RSO, and within half an hour, he was functioning completely normal again.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I've seen similar videos, and as you mentioned at the beginning, here in the state of Indiana, we don't even medically have an opportunity to, have friends and relatives who are affected by Parkinson's to even have a chance to use RSO because it's considered an illegal substance here in Indiana.
Yeah.
This stuff is crazy because, mental health, we've got to focus on it. I know that we've talked to, in past shows about mental health and the incredible lack of availability here in Indiana. And Indiana is by all means, a wealthy state.
Oh, yeah.
As far as state incomes go. Something I did not know, but I was talking to a licensed therapist, and she is just wonderful. And in the conversation, she was saying, do you know that Medicaid will not cover licensed therapists?
No.
Only unlicensed.
Yep.
Now, aren't people on Medicaid some of the most in need people that we have?
Oh,
Shouldn't they?
Especially from a mental health standpoint, because people on Medicaid are already struggling.
Right. So shouldn't they have the opportunity to get the best mental health care that we could provide?
Oh, yeah.
And there's just, she was telling me the absolute shortage of licensed therapists. It is scary. And to see a licensed therapist, you're going to wait 2 or 3 weeks. And if you're calling a therapist, you really need to see somebody before 2 or 3 weeks.
Nowadays, if you go to regular therapy appointments, you don't even go to the office anymore. They're over the phone.
And that's the other thing she was saying. It was, all of this virtual, and she says you really cannot effectively treat people via telephone or by Skype or Teams, computer. It's just not effective.
No.
We've got to start figuring this mental health issue out.
Yeah, because I worked in the mental health care field for a little while, so I know a little bit about it. And what I do know is you can't tell if somebody's lying to you that they're okay or not over the phone. You can't see their face.
Read their body language.
Yeah, you just know that they're telling you, oh yeah, my medicine's working great, everything's okay. You just hear what they're saying, but you...
Cat over there.
Oh, yeah. Turn into a cardboard box.
But yeah, you just hear their voice. You can't read their body language to tell, because body language is a big part of, I feel like, how mental health is treated. Like, obviously you can see on somebody's face if they're sad or not, or if they're exhausted, or you can read a lot based off of a person's body language and facial expressions.
Oh, I agree.
And to have that aspect just taken away because it's easier to do it over the phone, I feel like really takes away from the, therapy side of it.
Right. I'm just, I just think we could do so much more. We start, dealing with mental health, and that's going to help solve a lot of the other problems that we have going on.
Oh, yeah.
So very, very important. But hey, okay. Now, we originally had Alana Cohen set up for our guest tonight, but unfortunately she had a family emergency and was not able to do the interview. We were planning on having David here in a couple of weeks, because he's getting ready to launch his new album. So I called up David and said, "Hey, would you mind, coming on and doing a couple songs for us and telling us how you are?" And for a lot of people, they've heard his music, but David was one of our very first guests.
Yes.
And they may not have gotten to meet him and kind of find out about him personally. So, this show is all about our good friend, David Thompson. He's a beautiful person. I think you guys are going to really dig this interview. Now, sorry, but I'm going to pre-warn you, do not freak out. We're still beta on some of the equipment that we're using and programs. So, for the people that are doing mushrooms, you will not see much of a difference. For those people who aren't doing mushrooms, the pictures will change a little bit. So don't freak out. Like I said, the people on mushrooms won't notice it.
Okay.
It'll be totally normal for them.
Right.
People that are not doing mushrooms, then don't panic. You're okay. So, Waylon, how about queuing this up and let's get David on here. And what a guy! What a guy! I hope you enjoy this as much as I do. Hey, we have our special musical guest, David Thompson, tonight. And everybody has heard David's music. Now we're going to learn a little bit more about David himself, and he is going to be cool enough to play us a brand new song. In fact, you know what? Hey, David, why am I telling people about what you do, man? You're a beautiful person. Namaste, my friend. Thank you for being here.
I appreciate it.
Tell everybody about yourself, your background, your music.
Well, I grew up in Oklahoma, the same county as where the Kings of Leon grew up. So I grew up in a town called Poto. They grew up in Tallahassee, so right by Arkansas. And that's kind of cool that I grew up in the same county they grew up, about 45 miles apart, about the same time, actually. I've been playing music. I've been teaching guitar lessons, or have taught guitar lessons since I was 16 years old, and I'm a lot older than that now. Trust me. That's about it. My professional life. My last album is kind of the takeoff to that. When I just stopped playing covers and just started doing my own thing, was my last album, and it was reasonably successful. I'd like it to have been more successful. It's still doing well, and my new album's about to come out. It's going to come out on June the 11th. And I'm really excited about it.
Cool. Now, your first album, that was Rednecks and Prom Dates?
Yeah, my first solo album, I had one in 2007 called Live and Raw, which is basically me in the studio playing a guitar out of tune, and out of tune a lot of the time, and just singing. It was called Live and Raw. That was the first one by myself. The next one was Music for Rednecks and Prom Queens, and that was just in 2021, or it came out late 2020, so in December 2020. And this is my next one. It's called Strange, and it's going to be out June the 11th of this year.
Right. Now, how did you come up with some of these album titles?
I used to play with a guy named Pete Yorn in Southern California. He's reasonably famous. He's in a lot of music soundtracks and things like that. He has a song called Life on a Chain. I actually played a lot when I played live. Strange Condition. He's like in Me, Myself, and Irene. He's in a lot. He's just a soundtrack guy, kind of like a guy I used to also play with named Ellis Paul. I played with both of those guys in their bands, and that's kind of where my influences come from. I never was very popular here in my hometown. I'm still not. I can't even get a job around here. Whenever I play live, it's got to be nationally. There's not very, the calling here in my hometown of Fort Smith, Arkansas, they like to call themselves a blues town, which I don't know what it is because it's just a bunch of cover bands. So
doesn't sound real blues.
It's not too far from Memphis and not too far from Nashville, but they like to try to be a music town, and they're not. So that's there's not really you know, when I came back here from, I was actually living in the Virgin Islands 3 years ago. When I came back here from the islands, it just was the same old, same old. But like I tell everyone, these guys must be really talented if I can't get a job around here.
Now you have been in Nashville recently, haven't you?
I have been. Me and my ex were there not too long ago. I met with my manager, and he's here actually tonight from Nashville. He said we met with a publishing guy that's a promoter in Tulsa. And it's kind of weird that I live so close to Tulsa. I live like 98 miles away from Tulsa, and the promoter that I'm going to be working with when I start this next national thing is actually in Tulsa. So it's kind of cool.
Wonderful. Well, you know, when you start getting the schedule and everything nailed down, you'll have to let me know so I can tell people where to find you and see you and hear you.
Absolutely. I'll request to be in at least Chicago immediately. Maybe get up there and we can get together.
Yeah, I'll travel up to Chicago, my friend.
About one for you, something like that.
Yeah, we'll make that a date. We'll definitely make that a date. So your new album, heard several songs off of it. You know, how did you come up with the concept on this album?
I don't know how many people will be glad to hear this. I know one person will be. The last album and a half, probably been about one person, or me and one person. Yeah. Toxic, destructive, probably still love each other, probably still hate each other type thing. I still, you know, I don't want to get into it too much. I'll probably start crying, but yeah. But she's still really important in my life. I hope, and her children are important in my life, and I hope she still allows me to be important in her children's lives. But that's basically what it's about, you know. Me, and now it's basically about moving on, you know, type thing.
Right on. Now you were telling me that you've got a new song that your guys are kind of rushing to get on this album.
I'm not going to do this Pastor We Did Beside Me. You remember what happened with that? That's why the album still hadn't come out, or still hadn't come out till now. Because when we were going to release Beside Me, Tim called me and said, hey, they really want to push this, getting it out. I didn't know who he was talking to. I don't think either one of it, even though he's my manager, and Tim moonlights. He works for, I'm not going to mention this Nashville company's name because I don't know if he's allowed to moonlight. My manager, he does all my European stuff. He is he's an A&R guy for a big firm in Nashville, and he texted me one night. I thought he was full of it, you know, but he never asked me for any money. So that's how I knew he was real. When they ask you for money right off the bat, they say, if you'll pay me this, I'll do this.
Right.
He never asked for any money. It was always, I will get you this, and then you can pay me that. That's how you know. If any music guys out there, that's how it is. If someone's saying, if you pay me this, I'll make sure this happens, it never happens. Don't pay them. If someone says, when I make you this much money, then you can pay me that, that's when it's real. So that's how I knew Tim was a real guy and he knew what he was talking about. And so he did kind of maybe cash a couple checks. I don't know how he did it without my signature, but he was totally legit the whole time. And so Tim, he's standing right over here laughing at me. But, so he was really helpful to me, and he got this stuff done. And you know, I feel like for the first time in my life, I'm really hopeful about this. Even though my last album I was really hopeful, and you know, I'm not making a ton of money, but I am known. So that's what it's about to me.
Well, my friend, we're hoping to help you get even better known. You know, we want to say, hey, you know, we remember when David Thompson was, you know, starting to catch fire, and you know, remember us little guys when, you know, when you're rocking the house in Nashville and Chicago and Houston and all of those nice places.
I will, man. I hope that happens. But if I died tomorrow, I'd be satisfied with the help from Tim and from watching on the internet how well known I am now. I would be satisfied if I was gone tonight.
Right on. Well, we don't want that to happen.
I don't know.
Why don't you bless us with some of your talent here?
Kind of reverb. This song, and I do play a Martin and a they're getting ready to endorse me, so I'll just go ahead and trade it. I play Martin and I play, and Ivan is my two main guitars right now. But I'm playing right now Martin X series that is actually, you can purchase below $1,000. It's like $998 or something like that. The reason you can do it is because it's got a composite body, but it still has the balsa neck, or the balsa front. And so that's how come it still sounds great.
Oh.
Great sounding guitar. This song's called Pieces of Me, and it's about the same person they've all been about. So anyway, I only wrote it a couple weeks ago, so I'm not, the muscle memory is not great on it. I'll probably play it pretty well. So here we go. I can't stop, yeah. Can't get enough, yeah. The devil's on the other side and trying to take us alive. I can't stop, yeah. And you're showing me the good time, and you're showing me the way, yeah. Now it's so exciting, so inviting. You're picking up pieces of me, yeah. Yeah. I hide behind the sun, yeah. Now I feel like I'm the only one, yeah. Then you tell me get in line, 'cause it's the only time I hide behind the sun, yeah. And you're showing me the good times, and you're teaching me your way, yeah. So exciting, so inviting. Now you're picking up pieces of me, yeah. Yeah. I can't stop, yeah. I can't get enough, yeah. Now the devil's on the other side of trying to keep me alive. I can't stop, yeah. And you're showing me the good times, and you show me the way, yeah. 'Cause it's so inviting, so exciting. 'Cause you're picking up pieces of me, yeah.
Right on. I'm digging that, man, and you could tell that comes from the heart, and that's beautiful, man. I'm digging it. So, David, we've talked about your music, we've talked about kind of what you're doing, dude. How do you chill out? You are one busy individual. I mean, what do you do to kind of kick back and rejuvenate and get that spark again?
I don't know. On the weekends, I work for a entertainment group, and I do a lot of DJing. I set up a lot of light shows. Yeah, set up a lot of sound systems. I mow a lot of lawn. Mowing lawns and taking care of my yard really helps a lot. People don't believe it, but I like to get out in the yard and mow and stuff. So I don't know.
Hey, you know what? That is getting into to nature, and anytime you're around nature and all that raises that vibration, and definitely helps you get back into the the swing of things and get grounded again.
Yeah.
So right on. Hey, could I talk you into doing at least one more for us?
Yeah, well, let me switch guitars real quick, okay?
Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem.
I use so many different tunings that I always have to switch around.
Yeah, one of these days you'll have a guitar tech standing off in the wings just to hand you the one.
I usually do, but not now.
Right. Well, this is more of an intimate setting.
That guy, your crew, is the nicest people to me that ever was. I guess they would get in trouble if they weren't. But so this song is the reason why the album's late coming out. It's called Beside Me. What happened was Tim called me one night and said, "Hey, I think this is great. We're going to set this out as a single because we had done a single last time that came Strange. The title track of this album was released as a single and did really well. So Strange came out as a single almost a year ago, even though it's just now coming out on an album. So Tim said, hey, it's going to have again, blah, blah, blah. And then one day the artwork came back, everything, and it's put out. I said, this is going to be great. And I tried to post it on Facebook, and it came back as a copyright violation. So I played covers before and didn't realize why they came back as copyright violations. But yeah, it did. So anyway, this one's called Beside Me, and it's all fixed up now. So
right on. Well,
here we go.
That's good. I remember.
I didn't come here to settle scores. You didn't come here to be adored. And now the rhyme won't find me. So I'm begging you, stand beside me. Beside me. I didn't come here to save you. I just came to know you. And the rhyme can't find me. So I'm begging you, stand beside me. Beside me. Trying to hide me. Now the angels can't find me. So you put on your thin disguise. It hides the sorrow from your eyes. Beside me. Yeah, beside me, yeah. Stand beside me. And begging you, stand beside me.
Right on. Right on. Beautiful, man. Love it. Love it. You know, I tell everybody that you kind of have to me, you have kind of a Tom Petty, Bob Dylan blend to your voice. I just dig the way you sound, man.
Thank you, man. I'm so glad that everyone didn't tell me I sound like Brett Michaels anymore. They used to
Right.
tell me a lot, and that really get me down. I mean, Brett Michaels is wealthy. He made a lot of money playing music, and I respect him, but I just don't dig Poison, and I never will. You know,
No, no, between Brett and CC,
I
yeah.
like him a lot. Actually, I think he's a good guy. Met him a couple times. He's really cool, but I just don't dig Brett Michaels' vibe. I never met him. Actually, he has a home probably 20 miles from me. Here
Really?
in Greenwood, and he's dating some girl down there, and I've seen him a couple times here and there, but a lot of people talk to him. I just don't dig his vibe. I just don't dig his vocal. But I really like CC DeVille.
Right,
But,
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
at
there
least
was a lot of
I can sit here and kiss his ass, you know.
a lot of hating on CC back in the day. No, he's
Now,
a good guitarist, and he seems like a really cool guy. Hey, now tell everybody if they want to find your music, where do they find you?
every major platform, Apple Music, iTunes, Deezer, Spotify, anything, all of those. Amazon is probably, if you're going to purchase it, I go to Amazon. My website's going to be back up. Maybe even as Tim's working on that. For some reason, they took it down after they felt like sales weren't going as good as they should be on there. So to put it back up here, maybe in an hour or two, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. But it's going to be within the next 3 or 4 days. The website's going to be up, and you just purchase it there too. And it probably will be a little bit cheaper because there's no middleman, but the same old places.
Right
I'm
on.
not sure the domain name is going to be on that yet. So I'll make sure to put it out on Facebook and I'll send it to you so you'll know what it is. But I'll send you the domain name, and so they can just go there and purchase it for maybe $1 or $2 cheaper.
Very
And you
good.
can purchase it too, which is great. So if you don't like the whole album, you just purchase 2 or 3 of them or whatever you like.
Well, I'm sure that they're gonna dig the whole album, man.
I hope
Because
so. It would really help me out.
right on. Well, hey David, thanks again for coming on, my friend. Namaste. You are a beautiful person. You're doing some beautiful work. Uh, you know, you're gonna succeed. We love you. I know the people that I've been sharing your music with love you. You know, your break, your time is coming, my friend, and I am sure of that.
Well, like I said earlier, for the amount of people that have talked back to me and the amount of people, and as well as I know now, I could die tomorrow and I'd be happier where I am. But yeah, I would like to be wealthy, be more famous. But yeah, I mean, everyone's been great to me. Everyone on the internet's great to me, and I appreciate it all.
Right on. Well, thank you, my friend. And hey, we'll be catching up, and you'll be on again. I assure you. So you can tell us about about the next album that's going to be coming out.
Sure. I might take a break after this one. Maybe I might even get together with some of my old bandmates. And remember, I've got some guys. Jimmy Hancock, who plays with the guy I used to play with back in the day. He plays with Chris Poland now from Megadeth. I've got him. You're going to get in touch with him. My buddy Mark Stropus from Allison Red, a great band. You're going to interview him. I just got a lot of national guys that I used to play with that are going to be talking to you, and hopefully you'll interview, and I think your show's going to really take off.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, buddy. I wish you well.
All right. Thanks for coming on tonight, and we'll be catching up with you soon.
Thanks, man.
That was David Thompson. Beautiful man, good friend of the show. Please check out his album when it gets released. He's on all the major platforms. The guy's incredible. He's genuine. He speaks from the heart. His songs come from the heart. And, that's refreshing compared to some of the crap that rolls out. You know, talk about a singer-songwriter. David Thompson's the man. And thank you again, David. Namaste. Beautiful man.
Hi.
Hi. What do you think of when I say, well, that sounds fair? Or when people say, well, yeah, that's fair, or fair, you know, fair play.
Honestly?
Yes.
Well, when you said, well, that sounds fair, like, my brain registers it as people putting forth their maximum amount of effort, even if it isn't, like, what you wanted to be done, like, completely.
Well, I'm talking fair play, fair pay, fair, fair game. You know, well, that was a fair game. You know, when people use it in those terms.
In that sense?
In that sense.
That it was alright.
Now,
Subpar?
what I want to say is what I think is fair is it the same thing that you may think is fair?
No.
Ah, you see, that's where.
So you're talking about equity.
Yes, yes. I really, really think that we should stop using the word fair because the word fair is not fair to anybody. And the only person that's saying, well, that's fair is the person that's dictating, you know, has the biggest advantage or is taking advantage and say, well, you know, that sounds fair to me. Well, yeah, maybe to you.
So you're talking about equity versus equality.
Exactly.
Okay, I got you.
So, yeah, I think that we should start finding different words to use and describe because again, the government seems to use that a lot. You know, we need to be fair.
Well, no, we don't need to be fair. That's like I said, equity versus equality. So like how do I explain this? Everybody's fighting for equality. Well, you don't want equality, you want equity.
Right. And that's what we've got to do. You know, the world wants to change. And there is so much that unites us that, you know, we need to focus on as an individual and reaching out and, you know, working with our friends, our neighbors. Get to meet your neighbors. You know, that we've lost so much in this digital age. You know, I remember back when I was growing up that pretty much everything in town was shut down on a Sunday. There might be one grocery store open until noon, 1 o'clock for people that needed to pick up something for Sunday dinner or whatever. But Sundays were meant to relax with the family, friends, get together, neighborhood get-togethers, barbecues. That's what Sundays were all about. You knew your neighbors, you hung out literally with your friends, and those days seem to be gone. People are getting busier and busier, and all the contacts are through electronic media.
Mm-hmm.
So you might have a bunch of friends, but no friends at all.
Right.
And I think it's time that we start getting past. And you know, I can hardly turn on the news anymore because of all the hatred coming from, well, both sides of our major parties. It's just getting so toxic, and everybody's guilty.
Oh yeah.
To some degree. You know, if everybody's talking, nobody's listening.
Yeah.
And if nobody's listening, we can't get anything done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Man.
Equity, equality.
You know, I got an idea.
What?
Well, you know, have you heard about all this student loan forgiveness stuff?
I have.
Well, what's your thought on that?
I think it's okay.
Right?
I think it's good.
Okay.
Generally, I think it's good, but then there's people like me who never took out student loans, who didn't want to be in student loan debt, and I'm kind of like, harumph. Well, where's my piece of the pie? I wanted to go to college, when I turned 18. I didn't get to because I couldn't get any student loans without a cosigner.
Right. Well,
I could have been through college and my student loan debt would be forgiven.
this is the way I look at it. That no, because when they went into it, they understood the deal. You pay for your education,
Yeah.
and I know it's tough, and paying. I hated repaying student loans. I just despised it, but I did it.
Right.
And I'm sorry. That's part of getting an education. At this point, what I would like to see, because there's people that don't need help paying off their student loans.
Yeah.
They've got a good job, they're making good money, they can afford to do it.
Yeah, they don't need, like, anybody that became a doctor, for example, like, to use as an example.
Yeah, or an attorney or an engineer,
Mhm.
or some of the high paying positions.
People that could have their student loan debt paid off in 2 years, even though it's like my car.
Yeah, astronomical. What I would like to see is the states ask the state colleges and say, look, we have some very, very bright and capable students that want to go to college. Their major barrier is finance. And those are the people that I say, have the state colleges agree that, hey, okay, we're going to, 30% of our admissions are going to be for these students that, have great grades, a fantastic resume. They just cannot get the funding
Right.
to go to school because nobody has to be born poor.
No. It's hard to go to school, though.
It is.
It is. I've been trying for 4 years now.
It is. It's very hard. And we need to address this. And we also okay, we have a major lack of licensed therapists. I think if we run a program, if you want to become a licensed therapist, you go to school for free.
Yeah.
There is so many needs in our communities that you can get your college for free. You can join the military, you can get your college for free. So, there's ways to do this, but we absolutely need to help, the most vulnerable and the most talented people, just because, they weren't born into a rich family or have other means to get, college paid for. We've got to find a way to help these people. But I don't think blanket paying off everybody's student loans is the way to do it.
I also agree with that. No, because just like you said, there are people who that make enough money to pay off their own student loans.
Right.
I know nurses working presently that have been nurses for years that still have student loans just because there's no debtor's prison and they're not going to throw you in jail for having student loan debt, and so they're just not paying their student loans because they don't feel like it.
Right. And there's that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's
pardon me.
To go along with that, there are some people just not paying their student loans before this that just didn't feel like paying their student loans, so they weren't.
Right. Oh,
Now
you know
they
what?
get their loans paid off. That's not fair.
We've got to take care of one thing real quick, and then we can get back to our discussion. The sponsor of the show. Yeah, never mind. Master Rochi's Garden is the sponsor of Thursday Night Vibes. Please stop by, say hello, leave a like, a share. We're starting to get some nice testimonials in on some of our products. Check out our website, masterrochisgarden.com. We also are on Amazon with our beard oil, so you can check us out. We're sometimes a little hard to find, but if you would, check out our beard oil on Amazon. Every view helps us climb up the page or pages from where we are. So drop a comment, drop a like, give us a little something. definitely helps our small business.
Waylon, could we put a link to the Amazon in the Master Rochi Garden page bio?
On the link tree, yeah. Pretty sure
Okay,
I can.
I know that. I think we're linked on the website. And the other thing, while you're on the website, check out the Amura Pocket Vaporizer. Thing is wonderful, discreet, looks good. There's a setting between flavor and strength,
Yeah, it does have a very sleek design.
so you can adjust this for your personal liking. But check out our Amura on our website. Again, it's masterrochisgarden.com. .com. And you can see the rebroadcast of this show on YouTube tomorrow. We're still beta testing, like I said, several different things, and we were streaming to a couple different platforms last week. We needed to kind of go back and look at all of our stuff because we're having some issues. So we are going to get back to streaming on multiple platforms. How does that make you feel, Kate Land?
The word has lost me. I had a word, but the word is gone.
Oh, I am not surprised.
I had a word. It just...
Right. So, just to kind of wrap up, if you have anybody with Parkinson's in your life, we want to send out some healing and good vibes to you guys, because that's rough, caring for a loved one with Parkinson's. Also investigate RSO.
Yes.
For possible relief for them. Check out the research that's out there, and it might be what your friends or relatives are needing.
Oh yeah.
So
I know Parkinson's is a hard disease. I take care of a lot of people with Parkinson's.
Yep. So thank you for bringing that topic and information in tonight. I appreciate it.
I'm a star, a big, bright, shining star.
You're something, all right. All right. Would you like to say goodnight, Caitlin?
Good night.
Good night. And as always, peace, love, and good vibes. Thank you.
One, 2, 3, go.
Waiting for my favorite day of the week. I'm in the sun, but no one sees me.